Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the YouTube world, CJ Rose's back in the building. Welcome back to the channel. Word is born, love is love. Like, comment, subscribe, but do all of the above. And if you ain't doing anything today, follow my Instagram. RugerRose23 is the place to be. All right. So, last night was NXT on Sci-Fi. It's only on Sci-Fi, I want to say, for the next couple weeks because of the Olympics. And something happened on NXT last night. I didn't see it coming. I don't think the world saw it coming. But we're about to talk about it right here, right now. All right. So, it was an Nxt Championship Summit, which featured the main event for next week's NXT Vengeance Day, which will be Santos Escobar challenging Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. They called it a championship summit. It looked more like a contract signing. I don't know. If that's the name that you want to put it on it, if you know, I ain't gonna argue with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit here and have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. So they were just pretty much talking, you know, it's the usual. Braun Breaker talking, you know, I'm Braun Breaker. I will beat you, you know. I hope Braun Breaker's mic skills get better because he just sounds way too generic for me. Like, way too generic. Then you had Santos just talking like, you're not experienced enough. You haven't been here long enough. My experience will beat you and I'll become the new champion. You know, all the simple things that you would expect from these two. Then as Braun Breaker's talking, out of nowhere, Dolph Ziggler's music hits. I'm sitting there like, Dolph Ziggler? out of everybody that could be walking down that ramp right now, Dolph Ziggler is here. I didn't know how to feel about this. I didn't know what was going on. But I sat there patiently and listened. You know how Dolph is. Dolph pretty much stole the show, you know. As he always does, you know. Or when they put him in a position to steal the show, Dolph Ziggler steals the show. He stole the whole moment. He's talking about Braun Breaker, kid, you know, all that, you know. Then he says, Dolph Ziggler doesn't work Tuesday nights, but now I do. And I'm gonna get into my thoughts with that in a minute, but let me just continue with this. So Dolph Ziggler lists his accolades, you know, former United States Champion, Intercontinental Champion, Money in the Bank, Soul Survivor, World Heavyweight Champion. But there's one title that he never had, and that is the NXT Championship, so that's his focus. Then Tommaso Ciampa comes out, and Tommaso Ciampa pretty much looks at Dolph Ziggler, and he talks to him, and then Santos talks about himself, and then Dolph Ziggler says a couple words, and Tommaso Ciampa beats him out the ring. And then Braun Breaker was about to beat Santos up. Then Legado del Fantasma lays out Braun, and then boom, that's how it ends. Okay, I just wanted to end that because this is something that's becoming a norm here. It seems a lot of WWE main roster people are getting demoted to NXT. And in hindsight, if you really think about it, it's not a bad thing. Because it's helped a lot of people. I mean, let's see. I remember Tyler Breeze went to NXT one time. You remember that time he challenged the Velveteen Dream for the North American title? Tyler Breeze went down for that one match. Looked fantastic. That was a good match. And then boom. I mean, Velveteen Dream retained, but, you know, that was a good match. It showed Tyler Breeze actually can go, but WWE just ignores it. Then he went back down again, this time as Breezango with his partner Fandango's event. So Breezango got demoted to NXT, and then boom, they became the NXT Tag Team Champions. They had success. And then, what, about a couple months, maybe a year later, they got released. Finn Balor was hurt for a minute, then went back to NXT. What happened? He became the Prince. He looked amazing every single match. And then, boom, became NXT champion. Finn Balor was one of the top 10 superstars of, what was that, last year? No, it had to be 2020. Yeah. He was one of the top superstars of 2020 because of that. So that was a plus. I mean, he came back to the main roster and hasn't been seen or hasn't done anything since, but that's another story for another day. Then Mandy Rose was the last person to get demoted to NXT. And boom, she's now the NXT Women's Champion. So in hindsight, getting demoted to NXT is not a bad thing because it actually does something for you. Dolph Ziggler in this case, out of everybody I named, Dolph Ziggler's the most accomplished out of all. Dolph has been here since 2000. No, technically he's been here since 2006. But the Dolph Ziggler character has been here since 2008. So he's been here for 10 plus right now. 12, actually. No. Yeah, 12. He's been here for 12 years. He has done a lot. Obviously, I just named his credentials. A multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, former United States Champion, Money in the Bank. He was Soul Survivor Series 2014, which was a damn good Survivor Series match. And, of course, the two-time World Heavyweight Champion. So, he's done a lot. So, he's the most accomplished. So, honestly, him going to NXT, I don't know what that really would do for him. But, he has a great chance to win the NXT Championship. There's just one problem with that, though. If you really look at NXT 2.0 as a whole, you can really sit there and probably figure out who the main people that NXT would build up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can probably say, okay, I can see him in the main event. Or, I can see him in the main event. I can see him being world champion one day. Or I can see him being world champion one day. You can tell based on looking at the roster. Yes, you can. The problem is, I don't think anybody's up to that point yet. Like, think about it. Braun Breaker's the champion. But they've been building Braun Breaker since day one. When NXT 2.0 made its debut, Braun Breaker immediately was getting pushed to become NXT champion. Since day one. That was their main focus. Like with Braun never did nothing different. Like, he always came out and said, I'm going to be NXT World Champion. I'm going to be NXT Champion. I'm going to be NXT Champion. Every single week, every single promo, every single video package was just Braun Breaker saying he's going to be the next NXT Champion. That was the only thing he said every single week. Now, you look at a Joe Gacy, who I can see as an NXT champion. I can definitely see him as an NXT champion. He's not being pushed. He's not looked like that. But I feel he can be based on his character. You look at Grayson Waller, I can see him being a world champion. I can see him being an NXT champion, honestly. Carmelo Hayes, the way they're pushing him, I think he can be NXT world champion. Tony D'Angelo, NXT champion. You know what I'm saying? You still got a couple people on the roster as well. You got Tommaso Ciampa. Boom, he's always a pick. You got LA Knight. I could see him being NXT champion. Pete Dunne, who has not won an NXT championship, which I believe he should have won it years ago now. He could become NXT champion. Those are just a couple names. Santos Escobar is another name as well. He's getting his shot next week. And I'm fine with Santos challenging because for the last 2 years, Santos has put in a lot of work. He held the Cruiserweight Championship for almost a year. Held that division down very well. Then from there, he kind of was up and down with things, but he was still winning matches. So in that sense, he still was in line to get that shot because there was still so many new faces coming into NXT where it's like, well, damn, we got to figure out who's going to be what or who's going to do this or who's got to fit into wherever it is. And NXT is still bringing people in. So it's just like, what are you gonna do, or who's this, who's that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at Cameron Grimes. That's another name. You look at Cameron Grimes, who's been there for a minute. He could probably he's challenging for the North American Championship next week. But I can see him becoming a contender as well because of his longevity. He hasn't won a lot of matches, but I can see him doing something. You know what I'm saying? So in that regard, anything possible. You know what I'm saying? Anything is possible. But in terms of Dolph Ziggler here, let's go back to the main point here. In terms of Dolph Ziggler, if they're doing what they've been doing with all these main roster stars coming to NXT, Dolph Ziggler is quite possibly one of the next 2 to 3 guys, maybe the next 2 guys to become NXT champion. Will they let Dolph Ziggler beat Braun Breaker? That is going to be super controversial when it happens because Braun Breaker is still new. He hasn't been here for a complete year. He's only been here for a couple months. He's still got a lot. He's still got a lot growing to go. It's already crazy enough he's NXT champion already. But you knew it was coming because that's all they've been doing with Braun, like just pushing him to that point where, okay, he's the next NXT champion. And it's just like, okay. I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right. Okay. So they accomplished their mission with him. But Dolph Ziggler is going to be the next NXT champion. At some point, he's going to be the NXT champion. Because you don't push somebody with the resume of Dolph Ziggler and not expect that man to become NXT champion. Imagine The Miz coming down to NXT. Imagine The Miz. And The Miz is one of the most accomplished superstars on the main roster today. Imagine him. And he doesn't become NXT champion? That makes no sense. Imagine Rey Mysterio going down. He's not becoming NXT champion. Kevin Owens? He's not becoming NXT champion. Dolph Ziggler is one of those names. He may not be relevant in the main roster. Definitely he's not relevant in the main roster. But boom, boom. He's here. Possibly next NXT champion. Only time will tell. That also means that Mr. Robert Roode is about to be a jobber. And then probably will get released in the next couple months because there's nothing for him to do. Because you're not going to push Robert Roode. Why would you push Robert Roode? You know what I'm saying? Why would you push Robert Roode? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Robert Roode could clearly be a contender for the United States Championship. And if you push him correctly, he could be next in line for a WWE title shot. I mean, that's just me speaking on me knowing who the hell Bobby Roode is. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching Bobby Roode for God knows how long in TNA. So I kind of know how good he is. You know what I'm saying? If you push him correctly, you kind of understand how good he is. But, you know, WWE don't fucking know. How would they know? They don't know talent, apparently. Vince McMahon's just so damn blind. He don't know nothing. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. You don't build stars because apparently Riddle could have won the Royal Rumble. Riddle could have won the Royal Rumble. That would have been the most interesting. That would have been great. We could say, like, yes, they're pushing Riddle to the moon. Cool. No, what do? You let Brock Lesnar win. Like Brock Lesnar needs to win the Royal Rumble. like he needed to win the Royal Rumble. Yeah, the smooth move, Vince. Way to blow Brock. Way to blow Brock, bro. Hashtag blow Brock is what Vince is doing. Congratulations, bro. Piss me off every time. I don't get it. But beyond the point, Dolph Ziggler is in NXT. I guess he's permanent now. He more money apparently. I don't know how the hell you give somebody more money getting demoted, but you know that's just the world we live in, ain't it? But it is what it is, man. It's been Rose, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love support as always. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. AEW Dynamite is tonight, and Tony Khan got a major announcement, meaning he's signing somebody tonight. Somebody is gonna make their debut tonight. I don't know. And supposedly the Forbidden Door is open, so we'll see who goes through. I will not be here for that, so you will know what I have to feel about that or say about that tomorrow. But it is what it is, man. So until next time, peace, love, 100. Yeah, cake life.